Snow, and I will be presenting my score analysis presentation. I will use the hymn "This Is My Father's World" to explain my process for completing a score, a Roman numeral analysis. "This Is My Father's World" is in the key of E flat major, which has three flats, B, E, and A. To start my process for completing a Roman numeral analysis, I labeled every single note on the sheet. I then determined what information I would need to complete my Roman numeral analysis. I would need the notes in the E flat major scale and the Roman numerals for a major scale. And a piano. I would then use the information from the Roman numerals and the major scale to determine the exact names of the triads that I could expect to see in that piece of music. The piano I used as a visual to help me determine which notes would be in those triads. I have previous knowledge from playing the piano as a hobby on how to determine the notes in any major, minor, or diminished triad. For major triads, you would count 4 half steps from the root note, then 3 half steps from the third. For minor triads, the counting would be 3, 4, and for diminished, 3, 3. I used this knowledge to complete my Roman numeral analysis. I will walk you through my process for 2 chords on the last measure of the third grand staff. For this chord, there is an E flat, G, E flat, and B flat notes. So I started off by, since I already had them labeled, I found those notes on my piano. So E flat would be here, G, then B flat. I used my counting method to determine that this was an E flat major chord. And then using this information in this chart here, I knew that it would have the Roman numeral 1. For the next chord, I see an E flat note, an A flat, another E flat, and a C. I would use those notes on a keyboard, E flat, C, and A flat, and I could determine by the counting method that this is another major chord. Since this was A flat major, I know from this chart that it has a Roman numeral of 4, subdominant. Now I will explain the relationship between music and other subjects. Music theory relates closely to mathematics, while songs are associated with the arts. In music theory, there are seemingly a countless amount of rules to follow in order to create a correct sheet of music. Similarly, in math, you also have to follow the rules, principles, and steps to achieve the correct answer when solving problems. Music theory also encompasses meter, beats, and rhythm, which directly ties to mathematics through counting and ratios. In both music theory and math, you will encounter recurring patterns and formulas, such as the notes on a keyboard creating octaves, and numbers amounting to the tens place, and so on. For example, say you are trying to write a full measure of music for a song with a 4/4 time signature. You start off with a half note, and your second note is an eighth note. To determine what following notes would be appropriate, you must solve for x in a way, as you figure out how many more beats are left in the measure and what notes can be used to complete them. Therefore, it is evident that music theory is related to mathematics. However, music in the form of a song is connected to the arts. Songs are often created by setting music to poetry, a form of the arts. Music can evoke emotions. Major keys usually sound happy, while minor keys often sound distant and downcast. Music is brilliantly used in films as an artistic choice to convey emotions from the actors, induce suspense, and appeal to the senses and emotions of the audience. Music can inspire dancing, another art form, and it is used as a form of expression. Thus, it is also clear that music is tied to the arts. Music proves to be not only a form of mathematics and the arts, but also part of the Christian faith. Psalms 98:5 calls us to, quote, make music to the Lord with the harp and the sound of singing. NIV Study Bible, end quote. In church services, the band plays music as a form of worship and praise to God. Colossians chapter 3, verse 16 communicates that we should teach and warn sinners and thank God through music and songs. Quote, let the message of Christ dwell among you richly as you teach and admonish one another with all wisdom through psalms, hymns, and songs from the Spirit, singing to God with gratitude in your hearts, end quote. Music is a gift from the Lord. It should be used to glorify Him. As Ephesians chapter 5, verse 19 commands, we should, quote, speak to one another with psalms, hymns, and songs from the Spirit. Sing and make music from your heart to the Lord. God, the creator of all things, has blessed us with the ability to create and perform music. We should glorify Him on earth as is in heaven by singing and playing songs of praise and worship. Music is also another excellent way to demonstrate the complexity and cohesion of God's creation. Many components of music theory can go unnoticed by the inexperienced musician if he or she does not take the time to fully understand and learn the complexities of music that work perfectly together in harmony. For these reasons, music is deeply related to the Christian faith. Thank you. This concludes my presentation.